Welcome back to Project Geekology. This is episode 134. It's a continuation of our Alien Marathon, and we are a week late. We took a little bit of time off, and for once, it's not my fault. And I'm proud about that. But we'll talk more about that in a bit. We're covering the fourth film in the Alien franchise, in release order, not chronological order. And because if we did cover this chronologically, this would be the very last of all the things that we cover. And I don't think this is a good thing to end our Alien discussion on. But we'll talk more about that as we go. But Alien Resurrection is the topic of today's podcast. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but if you, the listener, have not seen Alien Resurrection, I would not pause this to go and watch it. Or at least I wouldn't rush to pause it and watch it. You can watch it after the podcast. But it's one of those where, like, it's a movie. You know, we're going to cover it. I am one third of your hosts. My name is Dakota. I am joined as always with
Anthony, and the late episode is actually my fault this time. I was sick last week, and I just would not have been able to go over a podcast without sounding like The Walking Dead. And joining us as always is
Carl. No, it's Rich. Sorry, you said Walking Dead and you triggered me. I'm very, very excited to be back with you guys, Anthony. Glad you're back to podcasting health, so we can talk about the fourth film in the series, which is, I'm not sure if you guys mentioned this, it's subtitled, Believe It or Not, Ripley's Back. And this continues from our last episode, dear listener, I'm not sure if you remember, where I was convinced by my fellow podcasters here that, in fact, Sigourney Weaver, a.k.a. Ripley, a.k.a. as I like to call her, Riley, because I can't remember her name, it does come back. And actually, it's called Resurrection, I'm pretty sure, because she's back. So, Anthony, Dakota, answer for yourselves. I feel like you guys knew this was coming.
They could have resurrected Newt.
Honestly, it's been a very long time since I've seen this movie. And, you know, going back to it now, it was for a good reason that it's been so long. But yeah, I have absolved myself of any wrongdoing here. I don't know about Anthony, but look, if it's a way to get you to watch these with fresh eyes, with open ears, I'm willing to lie just a little bit.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, I'm realizing by the release, I've seen this movie. I don't know
What?
I don't know why. And everything started clicking for me. I can't remember the character's name, but the guy with the dreadlocks, his action sequences stuck out in my brain. And then when Ripley does the basketball behind Ron Perlman's head, right? Unless that's from something else, then I have seen that. Like everything kind of flooded back into my head. But I don't know. This must have been a random one-off. Like, my friends were like, hey, let's go to the movies because we have nothing to do on a Friday. And we saw whatever was playing because there's no other reason why. I didn't see any other one in the franchise. Like, I just showed up and said, let's go see 4.
Love it.
And you ended up like saying the worst one.
I mean,
because it's safe to say that this is the worst one.
There is some stuff here. There is some stuff. I mean, that lab is interesting. It's like an island of Dr. Moreau. This one seems like it. I'm surprised Sigourney Weaver decided to do this.
Yeah, we'll get to all that. Yeah, we'll definitely get to our discussion of Alien Resurrection. We have a lot to say. I'm sure some of us have positive things to say. I'm looking at my co-hosts, hoping for some positivity here in these dark times. Anthony's giving me the thumbs down. We're going to jump right into, everybody's favorite segment. What the hell have we been up to these past couple of weeks? Anthony, we'll start with you.
Future Anthony here, and if you would like to skip the segment of what we have been up to, head on over to 23 minutes, and that is when the main discussion begins. See y'all. So the week before the week that I got sick, I actually went to go see Kimetsu no Yaiba in theaters. It was really good, man.
You're going to have to speak a little bit of English because my ears are bleeding.
The Demon Slayer movie.
No, I know.
Yeah, man.
I could.
Yeah, it was good. I will say that I feel like they could have benefited from maybe another season Because, man, they had a lot of backstory going on. A little bit too much for a movie, but it was still pretty good. I liked it.
All right, I have a question. I know both of you went to go see this movie, but I know only one of you actually watched it. Anthony, as a Demon Slayer fan, how many seasons are there? Why did they decide to break up the finale into movies?
So there's only 4 actual seasons. It's a short manga series. I think there's 24 volumes. And so in terms of manga, that's pretty short, right? That's a pretty short run. I'm not entirely sure why they decided to go the movie route for the last bit. I'm not opposed to it. If they did one more season, like a 13 episode run that covered the rest of these fights, and then maybe the last bit of it would be a movie where they fight the last upper moon and then Muzan, then that would have been cool. But they really there was a lot of backstory, especially for the upper 3, his past, and man, that they literally went through his whole backstory. So that thing was long, dude. But other than that, it was a pretty good movie. It felt like an uncut season. They ran each episode out and they took the intro and outro out, and it was just one continuous episode, or one continuous season with the episodes together.
Well, for whatever reason they decided to go this route, it did pay off because it was a massive success worldwide. I think it's up there in the top 10 highest grossing films for the year right now, and that's incredible for a anime spinoff.
Absolutely. I've gone to the theater to see anime movies, but I've never seen a theater packed out the way that this one was. It was packed out, and you can expect the same for the next 2 movies, which I think they announced that yes, the next part's going to be next year, and then I'm assuming that they'll cap it off in 2026 or 2027. So, and then that'll be it. But yeah, no, it was a really good movie. Those of our listeners that have seen it, we have a lot of listeners that listen to that Demon Slayer episode.
Dude, every day there's downloads.
Yeah, every day. So we do have a lot of fans, and trust me, there will be a second part to that episode, especially to kind of cap off the last season, which there's not much to talk about, and then the movies that follow it. So I'm really just waiting for those to finish up, and then I'll do a part 2 to that Demon Slayer episode, and hopefully that one gets an equal amount of downloads, because it's our best episode.
Day in, day out. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
Rich, how did you like it?
Guys, I tried. All right, I had one of my first track meets that morning. I think I woke up at 5:30 to go. Then I left the track meet, came home, unpacked my car, went to City Field, and
I saw you at City Field that day. You showed up, and then you were like, "We got to leave early because we have a movie to catch."
Yep.
Turns out the movie
was Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
So I get to Demon Slayer at about 8 p.m. And the feature I love most about this theater is that it's right above.
Oh, City Fields, Anthony, is the Mets stadium.
Yeah.
So he went to a baseball game before going to see this.
So what were you doing over there, Dakota?
I was eating hot dogs.
So I go to the theater, and my it's real local. It's 5 minutes away.
What's that doing?
I'm very
Sorry,
excited. The Mets have lost, so I'm in a pretty sour mood. But we get to the theater, and I settle in, and the person in front of me, there are only 2 people in the entire theater who did not recline their chairs. And it happened to be the 2 people that were sitting in front of me and to my right. So what this created was a real problem. I had to decide, because them not being reclined blocked the subtitles, and my son insisted on seeing it in Japanese with subtitles. So I was watching the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I was a little...
Mad respect for your son, by the way. Just
he always does this. You know? Yeah, he... shout out to Charlie. He really does keep it real.
Charlie's a real
He
one.
wants to be a mangaka, and he's doing the Duolingo and trying to He doesn't want to just write, create, manga in the United States. He wants to be somebody who learns how to do it in Japan. So
that's awesome.
Kudos to him.
Yeah, it's a cool.
But not so cool when your father is old and he can't see the subtitles if he reclines in his chair. Because after 20 minutes, I was a little overwhelmed. I didn't know really what was going on. I've not seen one thing about Demon Slayer. This is all for him. And once I reclined, all I heard was Japanese, guys. And I'm sorry. I think I dealt with 8 minutes. Apparently, I snored so loudly that my wife had to wake me up because I startled 2 teenage boys that were sitting to the left of me. I remember waking up thinking that they were rude because they were talking and looking at me, but now I pieced everything together, and it was that I was an old man snoring in the middle of the theater. So
that is a fantastic.
I have no review of the movie. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Eventually,
but
you gotta watch a couple seasons of that show first.
It would probably make more sense. But I guess tangentially related to that, I will mention that the family has solidified their costumes for Comic-Con this year. I am going as Vegeta. My son is going as... Help me out, Dakota.
Trunks.
And
Trunks,
and my wife is going as Bulma. Is that correct?
Yeah, so listeners, in the past couple weeks, we tricked Rich into believing that he was going to be Bulma.
I'm very confused.
Yeah, we were just like, oh, so that naturally means you're going to be Bulma, right? And that I brought that back up to you at City Field, and your son left.
They kept trying to...
It was fun.
They kept doing jokes on me. They were like, oh, you're going to be Reiki. And I'm like, I'm like, okay, I'll be whatever. I'm not trying to be a problem here. I don't know.
Who are you going to be?
So I'm going to be Vegeta.
Oh, okay.
Although I'm very upset.
I thought you were saying you were going to be Roshi.
No.
Oh, they thought about it, apparently. Yeah, that was one of the options.
That Master Roshi.
Anthony, sorry, we cut you off. Is that all you've been up to the past couple weeks?
Yeah, man. Because last week I was recovering from sickness, so no gym, just straight resting. So
you gotta rest occasionally.
And then, Rich has been prepping for his, Bulma cosplay.
Rich, what have you been up to other than that?
Work's picking up a lot. I'm coaching, so that's just taking up a lot of my time. I'm ordering weird patches to make my own merch because I'm too cheap to buy the school's merch. So I just actually got a very sweet Dia de los Muertos Calavera, but it's Rams themed with Ram logos in its eyes and blue and gold accents all over. I've already affixed it to one of my low-cost Amazon sleeveless hoodies that I wear for coaching. So I have a very uniquely themed Hispanic Heritage Month Rams coach gear that I'm very excited to unveil this Saturday. I'm also excited because I ordered Mario Odyssey after weeks and weeks of back and forth and debate with my son and myself. Even though Mario Wonder is newer, I think my favorite Mario, despite playing all of them, as they came out, my favorite Mario Brothers game had to be Mario 64. It just changed the game.
Really quick, I'm going to throw it over to Anthony, because how would you pronounce that game franchise?
Oh boy.
No, I'm just curious.
It's funny. It's funny that you said that, because literally I was thinking in my mind, that's an interesting way of pronouncing Mario.
Everybody in New York does this. Everybody says Mario in New York.
They say Mario.
Did you see the Super Mario Brothers movie? Did you hear John Leguizamo?
I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Really? Go listen to Dennis Haskins and listen to John Leguizamo. And I'm fairly certain.
Look. I do
We're
not.
the Mario Brothers. That's what we do.
Listen. I don't trust.
Mario.
I don't trust movies. Ever since The Last Airbender came out and they called him Ung, yeah, no, I don't trust the pronunciations of any movie.
Oh snap! All right, I'm starting some beef between Miami and New York right now. Let's reel it back in.
Am I wrong, Dakota? As soon as I heard the words "ung" uttered, I was just like,
"Oh yeah."
I checked out.
They messed it up. Yeah. I too have always said Mario. I had never actually met a Mario until I moved to New York. I actually met like people named Mario, but like in Florida, everyone would call them Mario. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. We have a restaurant down here. It's Mario's, but like
see, like
that's what we say.
My wife is married.
Let's
to Mario.
reel it back in.
Like my son's godfather is Mario.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just a cultural difference, really. Like it's literally.
And he's from Jersey, and Jersey's where The Sopranos took place. So I'm pretty sure that's like the official pronunciation.
Isn't that just South New York?
I will say, here's the thing with that. There's a lot of Italian American pronunciations that are just blatantly wrong, like mozzarella and prosciutto and all of those like.
If you say one,
all of those pronunciation are wrong. Like you go to Italy or you speak Italian, that's not actually how you would pronounce those things. So I do think that Italian American accents change the way that certain things are pronounced.
Are you saying that you don't like gabagool?
I love gabagool. I love the taste of it. I love the idea of it. I love the meme of it. But I don't think that is the correct pronunciation of capicola.
Hey, Rich, who is Ezio's uncle in Assassin's Creed?
Oh, God.
I love, and it was a blatant, like, just Super Mario Brothers ripoff where he's like, "It's a me, Mario."
I don't even recall that.
Yes, that was my favorite one. That's my favorite Assassin's Creed game. It's just fantastic.
Yeah,
stuff.
that was solid. But yeah, Dakota, I don't know if Rich has anything else left, but we got to hear what Dakota's up to. Dakota dropped a video, alien video.
Yeah, actually, I was about to forget about that. Yeah, I dropped a video yesterday. It's hopefully the first in a series of alien timeline / lore breakdown videos. So far, the first one has been decently well received. It didn't get a whole bunch of views or anything, but I'm hoping that over time, if I continue this project, it'll become kind of like a time capsule of what each film brought to the table, which is kind of, it's been inspired, or that video was inspired by this podcast, because that's what we're doing right now, where we're kind of going film by film and reviewing it, but we're not necessarily talking about the nitty-gritty of like the minutia of the lore and everything. So I wanted to do something a little bit extra on my channel. Near the end of the video, I actually do give a pretty big shout out to Project Ecology. And yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. Hopefully it brings a couple more people to the pod.
Sweet. Yeah, man, we've been...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I would say our daily uptick has been pretty decent. We're like on track to have like our monthly downloads have been like steadily going up. So thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. And, while we're talking about like the meta aspect of our podcast, I think it's a good time to ask for a review. If you haven't already reviewed this podcast and you enjoy the contents that we produce, please be sure to give it a, what do you call it? 5-star, but like there's a word that we use. Well, Anthony, do you remember?
Yeah, and I'm always reminded of the word when I watch Aliens. Like whenever I see a xenomorph, I'm like, man, that is the kind of juicy review that I want on this podcast.
There are literal aliens swimming around in water, but they're somehow even more wet when they're out of water. They are juiced up, oozed up, and yeah, that's how we need your review to land on whatever podcast application you're listening to this to, because that helps bring more viewers to whatever it is we're babbling about. Before we jump into Alien Resurrection, I did start replaying Kingdom Hearts 2. So, Kingdom Hearts has always been my favorite game. Pretty much ever since I was a kid, it has just been like the bee's knees for me. It blew me away as a kid. And when I think of nostalgia, that is the thing that... Because it's a game built on nostalgia, Like, it's a game built into worlds that have existed within the Disney canon for 50 plus years, some of them, at the time of those games coming out. So going back to those, it's like I'm nostalgic for the nostalgia, and it's a bizarre cyclical thing, but it's something that's spoken to me and plenty of other millennials throughout the years. And Yeah, but what I always end up doing is restarting Kingdom Hearts 1. So I've played Kingdom Hearts 1 probably about 100 times. Not through completely, but I've at least started it 100 times. I'm positive I've hit that mark. But I never really get to Kingdom Hearts 2. So that's the game that I've played much less. And I probably haven't played it in over 15 years. So I'm really excited to I just skipped Kingdom Hearts 1 because I know it so well. And I just went straight into Kingdom Hearts 2. And I started this because Kingdom Hearts 1 hit an anniversary recently. I think it was last week. It hit 23 years since it's been released. So I decided, why not? And it's kind of like all over my social media right now. So I'm diving back in. So I'm excited about it. I literally just started today, so I'm still in Twilight Town. Yeah, so.
Actually, that's crazy because I started playing Birth by Sleep.
Again? Or just for the first time?
No. Like I've played Birth by Sleep before too, but it's been a very, very long time.
How are you playing it? Do you have the physical copy of the game, or do you have like the 1.5, 2.5 collection?
So I actually have both, but I'm playing it on PSP.
Old school.
Old school, yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Retro gaming.
Is Winnie the Pooh? That franchise is owned by Disney, correct?
It is. Yes. Well, I mean, sorry. Winnie the Pooh is a character that's in the public domain, but that version of the character that you see in the movies is owned by Disney.
So theoretically, when Disney releases the baseball cards, the collaboration with MLB, where Disney characters will be wearing MLB uniforms, is it most probable that the Mets will be represented by Eeyore because we are just long-suffering and depressed fans?
I have no idea. So, for those of you listening that don't know, it was just announced today as of recording this, and today is the 24th of September, Wednesday, that Disney was teaming up with Topps and MLB to create a line of trading cards that are like baseball inspired, but with Disney characters in some of the baseball outfits that MLB players play with. So I think we only saw some of the normal characters, the Mickeys, the Minnies, the Goofies, in that little teaser that they relayed. So I don't know exactly what is the scope of that. I don't know if it's going to be like Lorcana, where they have like all of the Disney films doing stuff like that. But I have to believe that this is inspired by the success of Lorcana. Like that game blew up.
I would, if I were you, I would put aside all the money you can right now, Dakota, and save up to buy all of this stuff. I think this should be your next endeavor, really. Like Lorcana and this.
Pull out all of your money in savings and credit and crypto, whatever you got. Pull out all your stocks, put it into MLB trading cards that are paired up with Disney. Guys, let's jump into Alien Resurrection. I have a couple things to say starting this episode off.
Is it an apology?
Because I mentioned...
Is it an apology?
It is an apology. Yeah, actually, no, I do actually have to apologize. Because last week I said that this film was directed by... Who did I say it was directed by? I can't remember. I always forget this guy's name. Joss Whedon.
Oh, really?
So I claimed that this movie last week was directed by Joss Whedon. That's wrong. He is attached to this movie, but he is not the director, and that's a mistake that I've somehow lived with in my mind for a very long time. So the actual director is Jean-Pierre Jeunet, and the connection with Joss Whedon is that he wrote it. And I do think that his filmmaking style and writing style, even though this isn't a good movie, does feel very Joss Whedon at times. And if anyone has watched Firefly, you will definitely feel strong Firefly vibes by some of the characters in this particular movie. He even writes Ripley kind of like he writes the character of River in Firefly. You know, early Ripley in this movie, where she is almost like nonverbal and kind of just like really weird.
Yeah, you don't even think about that too. Now that you point it out, like I see it. That's wild.
So I apologize for leading anyone on last episode. It's not a Joss Whedon film. It's a xeno film. So, yeah, I don't know if that's the apology you were looking for, Rich, but sorry.
I think the apology would probably be that both of you made me think that Riley was gone. Ripley, why can't I get that? Ripley was gone forever. I was so, and I'm not going to lie, I did not cheat. I legitimately thought, I was like, this can't be it, right? And the minute the podcast ends, like, this is just some behind the scenes for you listeners. The podcast ends, and often, if my wife is busy doing something, I will almost immediately start watching the next assignment, even if it's just to get a taste of it, right? So I go to my Hulu, and of course, the next movie is recommended on the banner, and I see Sigourney Weaver's face, and I'm like, these liars! So... yeah, and then, you know, as I mentioned earlier, it just was weird when I started to realize that I had seen it before, and it was kind of a weird experience because I had no recollection of seeing this movie, and I don't know why I would have seen the fourth in the series, but it was a movie. It had a plot. You know,
there were some scenes in it.
Yeah, there were some cool scenes. There was a lot of juice from the aliens. I will admit that. The Island of Dr. Moreau lab scene was memorable, I suppose. You guys don't have the background of of Ripley's baby alien being sucked outside into space, which was a fairly haunting image. I don't know what happened here. They took a turn, and it is not a surprise that there's a bit of a break after this movie.
Yeah, there is definitely a break after this movie. The next one doesn't come out until 2012, but at least Ripley's back. You know, like, she's back in the franchise, so going forward, you have a little bit more Ripley to look forward to.
I think that's a lie. I think Sigourney Weaver is off doing Freaky Friday, and I don't think we're gonna see her again in the franchise. But
I don't think that's definitely not Sigourney Weaver. I think you're confusing actresses here now.
Oh, it's Jamie Lee
Curtis.
Whatever.
Yeah, man, this is one of those movies that it's very easy to check out of.
It's easy to start, like, scrolling on your phone and, like,
yeah,
what else is there to do?
And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm watching this for a podcast.
yeah.
And then your mind starts to wander, like, you know, hey, did I do that one thing that I was supposed to do? Oh crap! Wait, I'm watching a movie.
I think there are some interesting concepts in this movie, and I don't want to, like, write it off entirely. But there's a lot that I don't like. First and foremost, I don't like that they've kind of, like, written off Weyland Yutani as, like, the big bad threat in the galaxy. Even though it's never really been the big bad threat, I do think Weyland Yutani is the source of all of Ripley's trauma. You know, like, they were the ones who pulled her out of hypersleep to go check on that derelict alien spacecraft in the first movie. They were the ones who sent her back to that planet in Aliens. They were the ones who, you know, tried to get the anyway, Weyland Yutani has been, like, this threat in the background for such a long time. And now they have basically gone defunct in the past 200 plus years that Ripley has been dead. We don't know anything about it. I don't think there's much in terms of, you know, tie-in comics or novelizations, or novels rather, that, you know, expand on, like, what happened to potentially the biggest corporation that's ever been. But apparently it no longer exists 200 years after Alien 3. Or Alien Cubed, as Anthony is about to tell me. So that's, like, for me, I know there's much worse things, you know, like, creatively that happens in this movie. But that kind of bothers me a little bit. But I don't hate the idea of them trying to resurrect Ripley through, you know, just trying to find DNA fragments hidden in, like, the molten ore from that planet.
I don't. I strongly disagree. Look, I've watched Jurassic Park. I've watched a lot of movies where things are recreated from DNA. How do you recreate Riley and the xenomorph as two separate but the same? Like, you can't. If you cloned a woman who was pregnant, you wouldn't get a woman who was pregnant. You would get that woman, right? You wouldn't get the small child inside gestating.
Unless they also have DNA of the baby mixed in with the molten lava, which they technically
So,
did.
like, you're saying that they cloned them separately and then implanted the alien.
I think they cloned them together, which is why there were so many failed attempts prior to it. That's how I understood the genetic tampering that led to the first 7 mishaps.
I don't even know how it's possible it could be successful. It doesn't even make, like, if it's not separate. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm arguing science of such a, honestly, just mess of a movie. But I don't know why this point bothered me so much. But it's the one thing that I was like, I don't. And then, like, the DNA is not separate. Like, now it's in Riley's human half as well. Like, that, right? Because then later, Riley consents. Anthony, am I off base here? Like, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the resurrection and, like, all of the genetic
So the only thing
studies?
that you're off base is with the name.
Did I say Riley again?
Oh, you keep saying,
Did I say Riley?
Yeah, you keep saying Riley's Believe It or Not.
Riley. Honestly, like, for me, I didn't even really, like, question the science because, like, my mind was, like, not 100% in this movie. Like, there was some, like, good action scenes, but, like, largely story-wise, it just was not a good movie. So it's hard to, like, find a solid foundation on something when there's really no solid foundation to really, like, set it on, you know? So I guess, like, for me, I let it just be. I let it be whatever it was trying to be, because, like, I mean, there's just that alien baby was just, like, I don't know what was going on, but I was disturbed. Dakota has an image of I guess Ripley's baby. Like, I mean, like, dude, what is that?
So technically, Ripley's baby is the xenomorph queen. That's the queen xenomorph that, you know, is the one populating this space station.
Oh, okay.
With little facehugger eggs. But they skirt around a lot in this movie, first and foremost.
So they're, like, her grandchildren.
Yes. So the big ugly monster thing at the end, which is a human xenomorph hybrid, but more human than xenomorph, is technically her grandkid, I guess. And it's terrifying. But it's cool looking. You know, like, it is like a grotesque abomination that they brought to life. And it looks realistic. It's a very, very terrifying puppet costume. I don't know what you want to call it. Muppet. It's a very terrifying Muppet. And yeah, so what I don't understand, and that what I was trying to get at earlier, is they make a lot of leaps in judgment. And there's a certain point where they find the queen and she's having a hard time. We don't really understand what's going on, but what's his name? Wormtongue? Wormtongue?
Yes.
From... Is it Wormtongue or Wormtail?
No,
I always confuse it with...
Wormtongue, yeah. Wormtail is Peter Pettigrew.
Harry Potter, yes. Sorry. Brad Dourif, who plays Dr. Jonathan... What's his name? I can't actually see what his character's name is.
Wormtongue. Wormtongue. It's Dr. Jonathan Wormtongue.
It's Dr. Jonathan Wormtongue.
That'd be amazing.
He's basically being cocooned for eventual implantation of one of the facehugger eggs. And he's, you know, giving all the exposition, like, he suddenly knows so much about what is about to happen. You know, he's basically like, she has too much human DNA or too much of your DNA or something. And that's when she, like, gives, like, the queen gives actual birth to this monstrosity that seemingly loves Ripley. And it's actually, like, there's a moment in this movie where you almost feel bad for this thing, as it's like, it's clearly enamored to be in the presence of Ripley. There's clear longing there. And then Ripley blows it out of a hole in a ship.
That was such a weird scene to me, dude. Like, Ripley is just, like, caressing the face of this creature, and I'm like, man, what are we doing? Like, how did we get here?
I'm just looking at Rich. He's sitting back on his couch, just shaking his head slowly.
All I can see in my head is that scene where she just, like, dives into all the aliens and is like she's just, like, enveloped by them. It's just...
Oh, yeah, that was weird, right?
Like, just leave me with my brethren. That was weird.
Like, when she fell down that thing.
Yes.
I'm like, what is happening? And then
she's just kind of, like, laying there.
I'm like, what is happening right now? Why are we here?
How much money did it, like... I need to know how much Sigourney Weaver paid, because at some point she had to be like, you guys have to be joking me, right? Like, you're going to make me do what? And then, like, okay, why does, I'm not going to call it Ripley, why does Riley have humanity? Where did Riley learn this humanity from? Is it imprinted in the DNA? Is that why there's any level of, like, wanting to help the humans? I don't...
Maybe genetic memory. I don't think they use the term in this, but it's just a common sci-fi trope. It's been brought up in a bunch of different things. Recently, I watched a Smallville episode where genetic memory is brought up.
Is it a Smallville episode where perhaps in some ways I know what episode you're talking about? I'm being a jerk, but is it an episode of Smallville where one person starts acting wildly different because they're either inhabited by something or impacted by something in the environment?
That's most Smallville episodes. Like, let's be fair. So you're not narrowing it down much.
Are you talking about the 1950s episode?
Yes, technically 1961, according to one of the banners.
You're good.
In the background.
You're good.
I have my notes.
It's almost like
just in case there's ever an option for me to make a Smallville timeline, I'm writing notes.
Oh my goodness.
It's a long shot.
Dakota is prepping for the episode that we're doing after we finish the Alien series.
Perhaps. Let's roll it back. We get a lot of stuff happens in this movie. There's all right. So we have the evolving lineage of Ash from the first movie. Ash being the robot that Weyland Yutani put on board the Nostromo to basically hijack their operation to bring it to the thing. Anyway, in the second movie, we are introduced to a future model of a future Cyberdyne model. No, Hyperdyne. Cyberdyne is Terminator. Hyperdyne model named Bishop, who also goes into the third movie a little bit. Now in this fourth movie, we have the next, maybe not the next generation, but several generations after that. Instead of calling them robots or synthetics, these are Autons, who are autonomously built by other synthetic beings. And Winona Ryder plays an Auton. And there's a scene where she gets shot, the white milk that comes out of the stomach or whatever. She has that. She is synthetic, or an Auton as they describe it. What are our thoughts on Winona Ryder's character and the evolution of this race of being?
I will say, you quickly glossed over the fact, I'm not sure, faithful listeners, if you remember, the promise that the team would stick together after Aliens, when we got to Aliens Cubed. And these two charlatans were like, it's great that the team's going to be together. And this man just recapped it quickly by saying, and Bishop kind of was in the third movie. All right? That's a recall to the time that these men convinced me that this team was sticking together. And Newt and Bishop were gone within 5 minutes. But
look, I don't have anything.
I think Anthony's our milk.
I don't have anything to add to that.
I think Anthony's our milk expert. So I actually want to hear his thoughts before anything. Like, what did you think of Winona Ryder's milk sitch?
Honestly,
out of context, that's such a strange sentence, by the way.
You gotta listen to the whole show, or you won't get it.
I hope nobody takes this out of context.
Don't randomly scrub to this moment. I think, honestly, like, when you get to these movies, it's kind of fun to figure out which one is going to be the robot, you know? it's like, okay, which one of these people are going to be the robot in this one, you know? Like, because that becomes like a reoccurring thing that like one of them is not a real person.
I prefer the term artificial person.
Data would be very upset with
I thought it was
right
interesting that like she had like that whole scene where she had like Jack into the like very like Matrixy, like where she had to like jack into the computer, even though that was what, a couple years before the Matrix. Was it 98, 99?
Yeah, that was 2 years before the Matrix.
But so she jacked in and made father do, you know, like she started messing around with the enemy of the movie.
So that is another interesting thing that they, you know, there's a change in this one. You know, there's still the theme of motherhood that's began in the first movie. You know, like on the onboard ship in the first movie was mother. Then, you know, Ripley kind of takes Auton as her daughter in the second movie. In the third movie, there's the scene where like Ripley cradles the chest burster as she like dies in the lake of fire. And in this one, she is very clearly a mother figure to this abomination. But you mentioned that the interface in this one is called father. That's kind of interesting. I haven't thought about it enough to like really make any like theme. Again, this movie is really hard to pay attention to, so I really have to. I'm gonna eventually get around to it in my timeline lore breakdown and like actually make some sense out of it, hopefully. But for the time being, I am curious about that switch from mother to father, and in that same breath, there's some very clear religious symbology, not very like good religious symbology, but it's there, you know, like Ripley comments on the fact that Winona Ryder's character, the Auton, is religious or has faith, which is an interesting concept. I don't know what they would have faith in or why, but I'm deeply curious about that. I think that that's a fascinating topic. Do you think that the father bit has anything to do with that religious symbology, or is that just kind of a play on the mother in the first movie?
I think it's just a play off of it, really. I don't take anything that this movie does as deeply okay, obviously this is canon because it's part of the franchise, but I feel like they were a little loosey-goosey here and didn't care what they were doing here and what that might mean for the future.
Yeah, this is a weird time for franchise filmmaking where they clearly wanted to continue the story. They clearly did not have the original team to continue writing those stories. Each film had a very different group of creators behind it. And it's not until like the next film in the series where Ridley Scott actually comes back to do something new with the franchise for the first time in who knows how many years. But like you said, I don't know that there's anything extremely intelligent in this one. You know, there's a lot of really good ideas in the first 3 films. And I'm sure there's some good ideas in this one too, but they're just hidden behind so much. But Anthony, it was a good thing that you mentioned Matrix, because I was getting Matrix vibes, and I almost wonder if this kind of inspired the Matrix in certain ways. You know, like there are certain characters that feel like they belong in maybe Matrix 2, you know? And some of the action choices and camera movements that they played around with definitely felt like they belonged in the Matrix. So I thought that was interesting.
This one was definitely a tougher movie to get through. Now I kind of like remember why I just never cared to go back to it. When I watched it, I really, there was maybe very little that I remembered. It felt like almost like a fresh viewing. It's one of the movies that I've seen the least.
Okay. Yeah, I've definitely only seen this once before this time. And Rich, you said that you saw it in theaters. So this is the one that we have all seen. And it's probably one of the first films in a long time that all 3 of us have seen at some point. Congratulations to us. And to you, listeners. Guys, is there anything else that we want to talk about in this particular movie?
I think the most positive thing was that I got to watch both Alien vs. Predator movies because you guys told me I was allowed to go off because these were not They're not canon. And, they, I'll say this to the viewers. Don't watch Resurrection. Go watch the Alien vs. Predator movies. They're silly. They're not canon. But they're kind of fun. And, yeah, I think you'll enjoy those. But this one is just... If you're going through all of them, this is the one that you put on when you have to do the laundry and fold and maybe leave the room to take the recycling out and then come back. Like, you're not... It's okay. You're not going to miss a terrible amount. I don't know what happens.
Oh, there's a really... Sorry, I just remember this, and I can't not say it because it's something that I really, really, really deeply wanted to bring up on this podcast. They get to Earth. This is the first time Ripley's been back to Earth in 250 years, 260 almost. And yeah, there's a really bizarre scene where the ship that they were on crashes into Africa and blows up most of or it doesn't blow up the continent, but like there's like a nuclear bomb level threat that expands and mushrooms out over southern Africa. And then Ripley looks at Winona Ryder and goes, "You did it. You saved Earth." And I'm like, what? All those people are dead. That's millions, maybe billions. I don't know.
Hey, look, they saved Earth from the aliens, but not without cost, okay?
There was some serious cost, and she was so happy that it was done. Oh my God, I could not believe I replayed that like 3 times. I went online to look up like what happened. I downloaded the movie in 4K so that I could scrub through that scene. I was like, what the heck just happened here? And I compared it to maps on the Earth. This is definitely Africa. You see Madagascar on the right. Dude, incredible. I don't understand the choices made in this at all.
It's like you saved the world except for Africa.
Except for Southern Africa. Those people are dead.
Hey, look.
Meanwhile, in Aliens, the second one, Ripley, she's going on and on, like, to Burke about, like, how many people have died on this, like, colony. She keeps saying, like, 157 people or something like that. I think it's 151 or 171, whatever. It's like, in the 200s range. There's no way that did not kill less than 200 people. Like, that was a bomb.
That was Ripley.
No, that probably Riley. Killed, like, 200,000 people, like, probably more.
Least. That's not... Man. It's not Ripley who's making that call. That's Riley, all right? That's a different being.
It's... Okay, so the resurrected Ripley is actually
yes,
Riley.
Yes.
I see what you're saying. Okay, this is new.
Yeah,
canon.
Riley.
Hey, but
Riley's like, hey,
at
listen,
least they did it.
That's the cost of taking care of the aliens.
Look, Dakota, at least they saved 200 people.
Oh, God. Okay. I did not get around to watching AVP. I know, Rich, you watched both AVP and AVP Requiem, and I think
I did
Anthony,
too.
You watched both of them?
I watched both.
I think Requiem is the juicy...
Okay.
There is a scene in Requiem where literally, I think it was shot for us, it's just the xenomorph standing over somebody, and the juice, I'm fairly certain, just drips off of the xenomorph into the next victim's mouth. Like that, like, do you remember, Anthony? Like, it's over a ledge, and it was just like there was so much juice, man.
Yeah, no, it was gross. I will say that there was in the second one, there was a pretty interesting concept where it was a xenomorph predator hybrid. Like, I thought that was actually a cool idea.
So that's one thing that I do really love about this series as a whole. And I even will throw in Resurrection in this case. I like the idea that these are not stagnant creatures. Like, every film has added something to their lore and makeup or biology that changes what we know of them.
Right. Yeah.
Second one added the hive, the queen. The third one added the dog.
The fact that they can take on characteristics of their host, like it's species, different, right? And this one in Resurrection, it showed that they can take on even more human characteristics.
Right. There could be more genetic mutations that blend them even closer to humanity. You know, I mean, I don't know if you can really call that humanity or living or anything. Suck that thing out of an airlock, am I right? But at least it's possible, and we know that now. So that's pretty cool about Requiem. I saw AVP a lot. I liked that movie a lot when it came out. I did not like Requiem. I only saw it the one time. But I do remember liking that they were able to incorporate, you know, some of the dreadlocks on a xenomorph. I thought that was a cool design.
Yeah. No, I think that's like, because like it's like a combination of like some like two crazy killing machines. You know, at least in this world, we have an intact Africa, but we do have xenomorphs attacking a small town. And like, and
Requiem,
essentially,
right?
like,
yeah.
The Predators are kind of like anti-heroes, like in these movies, because they kind of help. In the first one, the Predator teams up with the girl in the end, and they fight the aliens. Whereas, like, the in Requiem, the Predator in that one is essentially like Batman taking out all the xenomorphs.
I couldn't. The only problem I had was when he's teaming up with a female warrior or whatever, and then he takes the acid from the xenomorph's blood and goes and puts the same kind of marking or scar. I mean, he literally melts her skin to give her this matching scar, and she just stands there. You know, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. That's rough. I don't know if I could do that.
It was essentially a brand.
Yeah,
like that's a brand right there
with acid.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what?
that that was an open wound.
I don't know. That seems dangerous. Like I think he needs some bacitracin, some hydrogen peroxide, something.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. But those movies felt so much so like a product of their time. Like they felt like the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Freddy versus Jason.
Yes, exactly. Those types of movies.
Yeah, where you can't really take it seriously with the franchise as a whole, but in its own little time capsule, it works as just a fun romp.
Right. I mean, and they do kind of work well as two sides of the same coin, because they pretty much came out around the same time, you know? You had Predator that came out in the 80s, and then a lot of the aliens that came out in the 80s. Very similar, like, kind of action movies, you know?
So, for what I've gathered, and I guess we can like kind of like table our discussion of Resurrection a little bit, you know, as we continue talking about Alien and Predator as a, you know, collected franchise. The first crossover potentiality with the Alien universe came in one of the Predator movies. I think it was the second one, where one of the Predator's trophies was a xenomorph head. Oh. And I think that's where this whole thing stemmed from. Like, fans are just like, oh, I want to see that, you know? And I think that's what brought Alien versus Predator together originally. Now, it seems like they are actively trying to do something similar again with the Predator and Alien movies. So,
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen the trailer for...
The Predator series has been staying relevant. Like, I don't remember if anything's come out recently, but I remember seeing one back in like 2018.
There was the recent one, I think last year or the year before.
Oh, Prey. Yeah, you're right.
That did really well.
Yeah,
people, it was like a straight to streaming one, but everyone was blown away by it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So yeah, they've been staying relevant. I feel like in the right hands, we could actually get a good Alien versus Predator movie.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Predator movie that's coming out, Badlands?
No.
Oh, wait. That has somebody... Like, I feel like I have.
Yes. So, I remember being in the theater, because I didn't even know this movie existed. And I was like, wait, what? So, like, in the Predator Badlands trailer, the Predator is on some world... and it's trying to survive alongside basically a synthetic. And we know that it's connected to the Alien franchise because you see the Weyland Yutani logo in her eyeball, like before she like boots up. So it's a very clear connection. And it's Elle Fanning playing, playing the the android in this one. It looks really good. So I'm excited to see what they cook up with that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so the director said there's no xenomorphs or anything in that, but that crossover potential is open, which is pretty cool.
We're building up to it, man. They're like,
we're building up to their end game.
Like Rich and I, like, we're saying it was that there was some really good ideas in those movies, in Alien versus Predator. Like for me, I would say like largely like they're not the worst movies that you're ever gonna see. But I feel like there is a potential that you could make a really, really good Alien versus Predator. I mean, the action was actually pretty solid in those movies. I liked seeing predators throwing down on xenomorphs. I mean, like one side not being overpowered. Like the aliens have their tails or claws, the blood, and then all the tools and weapons and fighting sense that the predators have, because they're sentient. They think more like a human than like a xenomorph would. But xenomorphs are not dumb, though.
Which show did you guys like? Or sorry, which team were you guys rooting for? Xenomorph or Predator?
Oh, it's always going to be Predator for me. I just, I think partly also because of what Anthony just said. They're more sentient beings. They seem more. They're more human than the xenomorphs are. Where the xenomorphs are more like, a bug-like menace that you want to get rid of. Where the predators are just, they
hunt for sport.
Yeah,
honestly,
they're just aliens.
Yeah, predators hunt for sport. They're like Craven the Hunter.
They're just on Rumspringa, like trying to like prove themselves into their manhood. I get it.
They have to like their survival means that they are like a proven warrior, which is pretty crazy because it's like if that's the threshold for you to become a warrior, then like that goes to show you like how insane like facing a xenomorph is, even for a predator. I mean, only one, like actually not even, like none of them survived from the first one.
No, that's right. Yeah, no, they ended up that whole we won't spoil it completely, but yeah, no, it was pretty crazy.
Were there other movies like Alien versus Predator or Freddy versus Jason in that time period? I'm trying to remember. I know we have stuff like, like there's older stuff like Dracula versus Frankenstein and King Kong versus Godzilla.
I mean, that was the lycanthropes versus. I mean, is that the same time that Underworld was out, or am I off base on that?
Yeah, I think Underworld.
No, yeah, that was that. Yes, that's exact. Yes.
Although I didn't feel like Underworld gave off the same sort of camp that those types of movies came out.
Those are serious, yeah.
That was a period of time where you got those just kind of odd horror type movies. Like, I mean, you had Jeepers Creepers coming out at that time. Just really weird movies that like, just kind of slasher movies that would come out at that time. And
yeah,
like if you go back and you see those, like they very much feel, they're not timeless. They feel exactly like a 2000s movie, just like Alien versus Predator. Like that it came out at this time.
So Alien versus Predator, even like Freddy versus Jason or King Kong versus Godzilla, it feels like that show Deadliest Warrior. I don't know if you remember it, where they would pit two warriors from like different time periods and different like cultures against each other, and they would use all of their strengths and weaknesses against each other to pit them to like the like what would actually happen. And I think that's the strength of specifically Alien versus Predator. Like you guys were mentioning, they use all of their pros and cons against each other. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, definitely. Like the xenomorphs, they were using their tails, their claws, the little mini mouth thing that they had. The predators were they're using their cloaks, their like all their weapons, man, like the shoulder cannons that they had. Yeah, man. Like I said, I think that there was a lot of like cool ideas from those movies that, it would be cool, maybe can be pulled in for the future, like the ideas, not the execution. Sure. Although the execution wasn't the worst,
Yes, I think the execution of Resurrection was probably the worst. No, it definitely was. Yeah, that's definitely the worst film in the series. So, Rich, everything's up from here.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. So what is on tap for next? I don't even know the name of the next movie.
Well, at least Ripley, this won't be the worst movie that Ripley will be in the future, you know?
Riley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah, so at least she's back, you know, in the picture.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. What's the name? What's the name of the next one? Is it called Alien No Ripley?
no. It's not. It's Alien Continuation.
Continuation? No, it's come on. That's a terrible name for a movie.
The next movie that we're going to be covering, guys, is Prometheus. It's the only Alien film that does not have Alien in the title. And there's probably a good reason for that. But we will discuss that next week. And last thoughts on Alien Resurrection. I will send it over to you, Anthony.
Yeah, this was not the best Alien movie. I mean, there was maybe some cool ideas that were overshadowed by like a bunch of like what the heck is going on. But yeah, no, I'm like Dakota said, if you listen to this without watching Resurrection, we actually saved you time. We saved you the time. You don't have to worry about watching it unless you're curious of how bad it was.
Rich, go ahead.
I mean, like I said, put it on while you're doing the laundry or you're grading schoolwork, and your student's work is so terrible that when you look up at the screen, you go, "Hey, this is better than that." All right, that's what you can do here. All right, I mean, but it's
the homework was better than the movie.
Yes, exactly. Then you go, okay, you know what? Maybe this kid's work isn't so bad. I'll give him an 85. That's basically it's. Yeah, if you haven't gone out of your way to watch it, don't. If you're a completionist like I am, go ahead and do it. But you don't rack your brain trying to make heads or tails of too much. Just kind of have a little bit of fun.
It's definitely a film that kind of encapsulates the grunge coming to its peak in the 90s. It's very edgy. There's a lot of characters that you're purposely not supposed to like and who make a lot of, off-colored comments that you wouldn't see in movies these days. And honestly, there are some interesting scenes. Like, thinking back on the movie now, I do like the scene where they have 3 xenomorphs in like a prison cell to be studied, and they kind of get smart like raptors in Jurassic Park, and they decide, you know what, you have acid blood, why don't we, like 2 of them like kill the one in the middle so that the others can escape. Genius. That's actually a really cool use of intellect and showing the survivability of this species. They understand that if we sacrifice 1, 2 more can live. But with good scenes like that, you have other scenes, like, there's a scene that Wormtongue, the character who plays Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings, decides to make out with a xenomorph on the other side of a glass pane, and it's a really bizarre scene. I got a little confused, but anyway, I would say it's in my top 5 MCU movies. I recommend it, but yeah, that's all I can say.
Is it above or below Quantumania?
It's just above Quantumania for me. It's Quantumania, Incredible Hulk, and maybe like Iron Man 2 are up there in my top 5 alongside Alien Resurrection. And yeah, that's a wrap, boys. We've covered the original quadrilogy of Alien movies, and we're going to cover the prequels next. Guys, thank you so much for listening to us here for our 134th episode. If you want to check out any of our socials, be sure to click down into our show notes. And you can find out more about what we're doing. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. And again, be sure to give us a juicy 5-star review. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, y'all.
I'm still collating.